So hello, my name's Matt Robinson, and right at the start of this conference, I'm going to go right back to basics, a challenge and provocation that I've been wrangling with for nearly a year now. I have no answers, it's just a thing. Lots and lots and lots and lots of questions. Now we know as community musicians that community music is obviously extraordinary and wonderful and life-changing and so on. But so what? It's a nice thing to have. But in the words of one of my new colleagues, why us? Why should we do community music? I mean, what's the point? So since September, I work here. I've been employed as a community musician within Concert House Dortmund. It's one of Europe's most prestigious concert halls. I'm on a 3-year contract. And it's a brand new role, not just for Concert House Dortmund, but also somewhat for Germany. Now, Concert House Dortmund, it's a high art institution built right in the middle of the city. It's built in an area where many people are afraid to go, and that includes a significant number of the Concert House's own staff. It's an area where when you go out and talk to people who live and work in the area, so you could be standing right there, they don't know the Concert House even exists, even if you're standing outside it. It's a place where you can look out of your office directly into the living room of a city centre resident, and you can guarantee that person has never visited the Concert House. You can be pretty sure they don't really know what it is. So I find myself in a building, in a town, in a country where community music as a term and as a concept is almost unknown, where it's met with confusion, and where the concepts of a high art institution serving or working with its local community is viewed with scepticism and resistance. So what do you do as a complete stranger in a strange town? Well, you arrive, you sing songs, you be a community musician, you run jam sessions with refugees, you have conversations with everyone, you start projects, you take your first steps, you make friends, you try and bring people with you when you do things. You hope to be following the statement of intent written by the Concert House from before you started, which some of this is. Big words, but somewhat removed from the reality on the ground. Now, you know this because every day, all along the way, you're challenged by everyone around you. What are you? What are you doing here? Why us? We don't need this. We already have an education program. I don't see the value in this. I don't want to change. It's not our job. So, in response to this over the last 9 months, I've come full circle in my own reflective practice. And it's reaffirmed my own perceptions of what community music is and the value of it. Some days I've been confused and frustrated by the very fundamentals of community music, and other days being ferocious in advocating for those very same things. What's the point? What's the value? How is it different? What is community music anyway? Why is it so important? What is the change that we want to see? Whether that's an institution or for you as a community musician. Now, just gaining acceptance into the institution can't be an aim. Despite there being some value to that, you'd be a community music corner with its little budget, and you'd be wheeled out to impress people on occasion. But it would miss the point. It'd be community music in name only. It'd be far better, but far harder to change the institution and the culture that surrounds it to one that instinctively recognises the power of music to make change like we do as community musicians. An institution that would be rooted in the sense of place and in a sense of community collectiveness. One that is flexible and responsive and self-reflective and no longer memorial to an old music, but a living, breathing community space that enriches its entire community through music. Now, we, as community musicians, have well-worn scripts on this, and we know the change that we want to see, and we have well-honed arguments. But if you're going to advocate for this on every day, then that's not enough. You have to ask yourself what the value of your work is on a really fundamental level. Not just to participants, but to everyone and to everything in the community where you work. What are your red lines? Is it worth doing? Are you really sure about that? And how do you get the keys from the gatekeepers, especially when they don't want to know? If you get it right, obviously it will be transformative. To participants, to communities, to concert houses, perhaps beyond. The might of an institution as one in a community. How extraordinary. Now for me, reaffirmed through this 9-month journey or whatever it is, it's reaffirmed to me that community music is a form of activism. It empowers people with newfound voices and it changes the world. And that's not something to be afraid of. Embrace it. Come with us. And we'll make something even more brilliant and amazing happen together. But every day, check in. How do you bring people with you? Especially the people that oppose the very fundamentals of our practice. And it's not enough to just ignore them. They're the gatekeepers to further change and progression in our practice. But before you start singing a song, how do you get through the door? How do you unlock the power that community music has? Hopefully, in the end, in the words of our intendant here, Raphael von Hernsbruck, we would like to be proud of our concert house. Community music could well be the way to do that. Thank you very much.